ahead and get started. First off, just a massive, gigantic thank you for all of you taking time out of your weekend with graduations and everything else to be here. So we're so honored and proud. My name is James Tyner. I am a supervising librarian. I've been with Fresno County Public Library for, oh my gosh, this month is 23 years. And this program has been on for 24 years. So to me, this is one of the most important programs for Fresno County Public Library. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but Fresno, throughout the rest of the nation, is known as poetry country or poetry land. We seem to have this, I say excess, but I mean that in the best way possible, of writers. The great poet, Luis Omar Salinas, he was asked once, why is it that so many great writers are coming out of here? And his response was the dust and the work. And that seems to be an ethic, that seems to be something that is common among Fresno poets. We have the sense of work and the sense of making things happen with our own hands and our own talent. So I'm so honored to be here today. And I can't wait to hear all these great poems. I hope a lot of you will come up afterwards and read. As I got to read through these pieces, I was just struck by the talent and the writing, even at a young age. Poems about everything from animals and movement to loss and grief and immigration story. There's just so many great slices of life, so I can't wait for all of you to hear that. So yeah, we're gonna get started with that. I just want to give a quick story about Fresno poetry. So long time ago, in the mid-90s, I was living way in the mountains of Spain, in the middle of nowhere. And somebody brought me a Los Angeles Times, because it's in California, so they thought I'd love to see this. And in this, again, this is 95, I find this tiny little article about Fresno poets. And I was so excited about that. Here in the middle of nowhere, middle of the mountains, nothing around for miles and miles, I'm learning about Fresno, whereas I've been living here and I didn't know these things. So ever since then, I've been inspired and excited about Fresno poetry. Besides my library work, I also have a creative writing degree, an MFA from Fresno State. I've taught writing, done classes for free for the public with the library for years. So this is one of my great joys to have everybody together like this. I did serve as Fresno's first poet laureate for 2 years. So being able to combine my passions and being able to combine my love of library work together is one of the greatest honors. And I'm so excited to give all of you a platform today. So let's get started. The person I want to introduce to you next is our Associate County Librarian, Sally Gomez. She has hosted the last several years for the program. She's just such a great leader in the sense of promoting literacy and promoting togetherness. So we're so excited to have her here today, just to say a few words and getting this whole program started. So thank you so much.
Hi, good morning everybody. As James mentioned, I'm Sally Gomez. I'm the Associate County Librarian for Fresno County Public Library, and I'm honored to be here with you today. And as he mentioned, as James mentioned, Fresno, we've been celebrating, this is our 24th year, celebrating the annual Poetry Awards and holding the ceremony. So for the past 24 years, we've been celebrating our vibrant poetry community by holding this contest that celebrates poets of all ages, and they can have their poetry read and reviewed by talented local artists, which is really exciting. We at the Fresno County Public Library believe in the power of poetry for both the writers and the readers. As I mentioned, and as James mentioned, we have a vibrant poetry community here in Fresno, and not everybody knows about it. So we hope this contest celebrates that community and helps to promote it. This year we had a total of 203 submissions in all 4 categories, including elementary school, middle school, high school, and adult. And we'd like to thank everyone for their submissions and their thoughtful work. We'd also like to thank the parents, the teachers, the school librarians, and all the members of our community who encouraged their contributors to enter this poetry contest. And in addition, we'd like to thank our support organization, the Friends of the Fresno County Public Library, for generously donating the prizes for our winners. Each of our winners will receive a gift card to a bookstore. They'll be invited to share their poems at the end of the ceremony. For this contest, we asked local poets to lend their expertise to review and choose the best poems in each of our categories. These judges have generously donated their time to read through the many submissions and select our finalists and winners. So thank you very much to the judges. And lastly, Garden Public Library for hosting this event and helping us prepare, and for the staff who organized it. So, but that's enough about that. We want to celebrate our poetry winners, so we will thank you.
All right, so now's the fun time. We're going to start with introducing our poets and giving out the awards. We're going to start with our 3rd to 5th grade category. So our judge for today wasn't able to make it here, so let me just read some comments from the judge. Our elementary school judge was Jessica Turney. So Jessica was raised in Madera, California, and graduated with her MFA in poetry from Fresno State. She's been published in Mayday Magazine, Nell, A Sharp Piece of Awesome, and was a finalist in Frontiers Open Prize. She also received the Ernesto Trejo Poetry Prize from the Academy of American Poets. Jessica is in the Reading and Writing Specialist for Fresno State's TRIO Student Services Success Program and Student Services Success Veterans. So for our 3rd place winner for the 3rd to 5th grade category is The Dinosaur in My Shoes by Liam Bowser. So about this piece, the judge said, "This is such an imaginative and fun poem filled with humor. I could see this as a children's book. The lines are playful and daring and are not afraid to stretch across the page. Specifically the line, a smelly, giant, crusty, gross, wonderful, amazing, fantastic, disgusting dinosaur in my shoe." Clever and creative. Okay, for 2nd place winner is Laura White for the Dandelions. So our judge said about this poem resonated with me, perhaps because I have so many memories of my siblings and I pulling weeds from the front yard. The writing and lines are clean, and what is seen as a mundane task is painted into something more. I am drawn to the images of dandelions getting thick. The poem ends wonderfully ambiguous with, "But pulling them was long and hard. There are still many in the yard." So our 1st place winner is Megan Starr. And her poem is In the Library. So the judge said about this piece, In the Library by Megan Starr, "This poem conveys the magic of the library experience. There are wonderful similes and metaphors such as, my heart seems to sing, but I have to whisper like a butterfly's wing. And the speaker's bag as a heavy stone when they leave the library. This poem beautifully describes the wonder and excitement of reading and the gift that books give us." At this time, if parents or family members would like to take pictures, we could do that for a few seconds. Congratulations again. So at this time, we'll be doing the awards for the 6th to 8th category. At this time, I'm going to invite the judge, Aidid Matina. Let me read this. So first off, Aidid is a great friend of mine. She is a powerhouse in terms of Fresno and Fresno poetry. She is absolutely outstanding and gives herself above and beyond for the local communities. So I just want to introduce her quickly. Our middle school judge is Aidid Matina. Aidid is a poet and spoken word artist. Her work has appeared in Fresno State's Club Austro Literary Magazine, Chicano Writers and Artists Association Journal, La Bloga, Poets Responding, Art of the Commune, and as part of a collection of original art songs composed for the opera readings, Fresno Grand Opera. She is currently working on a collection of poems related to her exploration of California's natural history, and a little exciting piece, she just had 3 books accepted for publication. So I'd like to introduce Aidid Matina.
glasses. Oh my goodness. When I get excited, I forget that I'm a little bit blind. Until I try to read, and I'm like,
Hey, I know that poet.
Oh my God. Well, I just want to say that reading these poems in the 6th to 8th grade category was a beautiful experience, and I love participating in these awards every year. I believe this is my 3rd or 4th year. I can't remember judging the poems, and it's always a joy because I do believe in getting everybody in Fresno to write a poem. I really believe that. I believe it's a freeing activity. It's an activity that empowers you, and it makes you feel like you own at least your own thoughts and your own mind and imagination, and that's so important in order to do anything in this life. You have to feel valued, and a valued member of Fresno community at large. Well, starting off with a prize at this young age, that's pretty good stuff. That means your work is already noted. You already are being brave and vulnerable with yourself and putting the work out there. All of the poems that I read were really good. It was a difficult job trying to actually pick winners, but I managed. I tortured myself, and I managed to pick our winners. So, with that said, we can start with our 3rd place, 6th to 8th grade winner, Azariyah White. 13 going on 14. Because I have one of those names too. Azariyah. All right, Azariyah White. So congratulations for your poem, 13 going on 14. And I have to say that I thought it was a great poem because I'm like, tell me about the group of poets right off the bat, right? It was everything that has to do with this age group, all the angst and the turmoil and the good stuff and a good mix of, some of the sadness and maybe questions that we have at this age. And that's what I thought was amazing about this poem. So thank you. And for our 2nd place, 6th through 8th grade poem, Bellamy Zavala, Silent Hunter. And a silent hunter, I happen to be a biologist, so that's what I actually studied. I studied biology, and I'm a big science geek, and I love being out there and doing hikes and looking out for animals and things, anything that wonder in the natural world. And so your poem was beautiful, it was elegant, and I've never read anything that makes a bat sound so gorgeous. And so thank you, big round of applause. And then our 1st place. So, I basically made up different categories in my mind of what I would have wanted to see voiced in a poem for these poems. And so our 1st place goes to Norah McCoy for Be a Voice. Poetry, especially for those of us who are working class poets, as we often get classified in a lump situation in Fresno. As he said, work is important in the poem. What are you working towards? What are you saying? Is your poem building? I always look for things that build, Destroying is easy. Taking down something is easy, but building is good work. Continue to do the good work, and her poem reflected that. Thank you so much. So be a voice.
So the next up we're going to do, thank you so much. We are going to be doing our 9th through 12th grade category. Let's see, the judge for this one was Mariah Bosch. Mariah couldn't be here today. Mariah is another excellent poet, up and coming. She just graduated from Fresno State, and she just has many publications. I'll read her bio here. Our high school judge is Mariah Bosch, and she's a recent graduate from the Fresno State MFA program in creative writing. And her work can be found on poets.org. Hobart, Cosmonauts Avenue, and elsewhere. Okay. So our third place winner is Adam Van with When You Met. Okay, so Adam's not with us. But I'll just read what was stated about his piece. So Mariah had this to say. Adam's poem used a repeating structure, When You Meet My Grandfather, to give us a range of life experiences and events a grandfather witnessed from being a soldier to settling into life with grandchildren. It felt like the start of so many future poems, poems of stories, histories, and memory. This was a special poem to come across and felt in conversation too with both of the other winners today. And again, all the poems will be out here for everybody to read. Okay, so our second place winner is Xavier Adonzo, As a Tourist, As a Neighbor. So Adam could not be here today, but his parents are here and they will take the award for him. And Mariah had this to say about his poem. Xavier's poem is an interesting narrative about obtaining citizenship, woven in with lines from the Pledge of Allegiance. This poem was compelling and brought readers along with the events leading to citizenship, a new beginning. I loved Xavier's imagery throughout. And our first place winner for the 9th through 12th category is Mia Fuentes with Oro. So Mia couldn't be here either, but I'm going to read her the statement here by Mariah. This poem, only 6 lines, surprised me in this year's packet. I love the use of both English and Spanish rhyme, and the final lines thanking a grandmother for a gift, a gold chain. It was tender and sweet, all focused on one primary image. This poem felt like a little gift from Mia to the reader, and I enjoyed that coming across. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and this brings us to our last category. So for this one, another great friend of mine, another great poet, local poet, Angela Chides Vincent. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today. I'm going to read a quick bio about Angela, another great poet, but she's very interesting because she comes from a mathematical background. So it's great, I love her voice. Our adult judge is Angela Chides Vincent. Angela writes poetry and fiction and teaches computer programming and mathematics in Fresno, California. She enjoys blending creative writing and scientific inquiry with teaching annual summer workshops for Kenyon Review Young Writers in a section devoted to science writing. Her work has appeared in North American Review, Atlanta Review, 32 Poems, and Bellevue Literary Review, among others. She has also recently shown work in several text, image, sculpture collaborations, both locally and in New York. She holds an MFA in creative writing from Fresno State. All right, so let's begin here. So for the adult category, our third place winner is Mia Jordan. And her poem is Burrowed in the Bones of Our Bed. So Angela had this to say about this piece. This is a poem of love, grief, and the wisdom of acceptance that tries to reconcile the two. It finds its way in the language of touch, the warmth and softness of purple sheets which had piled and worn down to the last layer of the threads holding them together. It is formed as a direct address to a lost loved one. The strength of that love feels palpable, even as the surrender to reality of its loss feels tenuous. I admire the impulse of the speaker to zoom out cinematically to the sun and the moon, heavenly figures who seem to bear witness to this grief, and also who might be persuaded to immortalize this love in a sort of celestial overstory. The predominant feeling I take from this lovely piece is that of hope and of our ultimate connectedness to each other, even across vast distances. Our second place winner for the adult category is Trian Herabedian Flores. And her poem is, "What if all the things they said about love are true?" So Angela had this to say about this poem. "The language of this poem, like the opening setting, has humidity and a lushness to it. The sensory details are carefully observed and rendered as in fireflies. Flickering above the blue metal bench swings in Oklahoma. The poem captures the moment of an event, rare for the contrasting second setting, a semi-desert California, of a firefly coming to rest on an awestruck viewer's hand. The container of each of the Valley City lights echoes forward to the container that the speaker makes to hold the uncertain, then trusting glow of this tender creature, who is mercifully offered the chance to fly away, but ultimately chooses not to do so. The moment of this poem is as fragile, quivering, attentive, and intimate as the early experience of love it seems to suggest." So congratulations again. Now, for the first place for adults is Stephen Barilli for his poem Memorial Day. Unfortunately, Stephen had to leave, so I'm just going to read this little piece about his poem from Angela again. And again, the title of this poem is Memorial Day by Stephen Barilli. This poem is clearly edited with care and attention to poetic compression. It is at once patient in development and urgent in feeling. Not one word seems unnecessary. Each successive line complicates the line before, resulting in a consideration of the hidden life of a loved brother that builds into escalating significance. I admire the poem's subtle parallels, such as the brother's wish for a lover to return, and later, an echo of that wish by the return of the brother's bookmarks to their original locations. The imagery of the poem speaks softly and authentically of a unique familial relationship. Among my favorite images, surf foaming with crocheted edges. So congratulations to everybody in our adult category. So at the end, once this is over, we'll have the hosts like to come up. We would love to hear you read. We just want to say a few things. So this is our 24th year, and again, we're just so excited and thankful to have everybody. One other thing I'm going to plug in is one of my favorite parts of this is that it leads into one of the library's most exciting times of the year, one of the most fun, and that's our Summer at Your Library programs. We are going to have free performers, everything from Bowl Show to reptile shows to how to make videos for kids, even for adults, teens, and children. There are hundreds, I literally mean hundreds of programs throughout Fresno County Public Library. Here for Fig Garden, this is our brand new branch, and first of all, thank you all for coming to see my brand new library. I hope you enjoy it. We doubled in size, but we'll be having shows here on Mondays at noon, at 12, and also at 2 o'clock. Again, all free shows. Please bring your kids. They can get signed up either online or in person, and once they do all their reading and read books, they get all these little prizes, including this really awesome pin that was designed by Brittany, our teen. She's really good at all the teen programs, so she's a librarian 3 for our teen young adult for community engagement. So yes, take part. It's going to be a ton of fun. We hope to see you all on Monday. So yeah, this concludes our time. Again, I hope you all enjoyed the poems. Please take your time, look at the pictures, look at the poems out there. I would love to talk. If anybody has any questions about poetry, please engage with me. We'd love to hear your voice, but again, congratulations to all of you, and thank you once again for coming out. Yeah, so if everybody...
Starting with 3rd to 5th grade.
Okay, so we'd love to have everybody come up, and we're going to start with the 3rd to 5th grade. And then we'll just go in the same order that we announced them then. How's that sound? So, give me here. All right, so Liam, if you'd like to come up to read.
The Dinosaur in My Shoe by Liam Bowser. I have a dinosaur in my shoe. My dinosaur with plate-like toenails and leathery skin. A smelly, giant, crusty, gross, wonderful, amazing, fantastic, disgusting dinosaur in my shoe. Then the dinosaur trims its plates. Then the dinosaur puts lotion on its scales. The dinosaur takes a bath. The dinosaur is gone. What do? Wait, maybe this is a good thing. My shoes are not smelly and gross anymore. Hooray! 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 Goodbye, dinosaur.
Great job. All right, fantastic. And the next one will be the Dandelions, Laura White. Would you like to come in?
childhood is close. A year of raging hormones and angst, of discovering ourselves and our race. We strutted down the halls with our new clothes, our hair styled just right, our makeup on our noses. We thought we knew it all, but oh, how we were wrong. For the world was vast and we had yet to learn. We fell in love with boys who didn't know our names and cried ourselves to sleep when they did the same. We fought with our parents and rebelled against the rules, thinking we were invincible, thought we were gentle. But as the year drew to a close, we realized how much we'd grown. We made new friends and learned some things, and found the courage to spread our wings. 13 was a year of highs and lows, of laughter and tears, and new foes. A year we never forgot, for it was the year we truly met.
And is Norah McCoy still here? Would you like to come read for us?
Be a voice. Cesar Chavez, a voice for farm workers, a constant nagging pest, chipping away at the wall that separates farm workers and rights. We must be pests, be the voices of the voiceless, of those who have been wrongfully stripped of their voices. Cesar Chavez, a voice, an example for farm workers, for everyone.
So does that conclude all of our poets? Did you get a chance to read?
What if all the things they said about love are true? I rarely saw fireflies in Mississippi. Once or twice in Laurel Park, flickering in the leafy, humid dark, pulsing above blue metal bench swings. In Oklahoma, off the main road, country overgrowth, July damp from swimming, searching for golden light, the possibility of holding it in our hands, watching them shimmer, always elusive. Never in California, too dusty dry, my own semi-desert that boasts of nothing, settled for valley city lamps, bright contrast nestled in night mountains, glass beads poured in a shadow container. But here we are, cupping live light in our palms. I'm usually nervous to hold insects, feather legs on fragile skin, antenna waving against my closed fist. Wings pause, then beat for release, calm for an instant, then frantic. But I open my hand and this firefly stays, moves a bit, wiggles, settles, content to blink yellow in my grasp. I wait for it to leave. Careful pulse, tender creature, give it the option of uninhibited flight, but it is still. And so I gently press my hands together to create a kind of dark, seal my fingers into a container, then shut one eye, peek into a minuscule crack, admire this incandescent glow.
Was there any other readers that I? So,
Can-
right. So
can I
thank
read-
you.
Even though my son is here, can I read his poem?
Yeah.
I want to give Justice's poem.
We
Okay.
would love to have you.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm the mom of Xavier, so unfortunately it's not here because they had a graduation bash last night, so there was no sleep. He had no sleep overnight. So. And we told him we want to go there and we want to, because we were so excited. We were excited for him, so I hope he's here to read this poem, but I can do this for him. Yes. Okay, so the poem he created is about our, when we came to the United States. It was in 2007, so that's 15 years ago, more than 15 years ago. So I didn't know that he created this poem, but I'm so excited to know that he made this one, and I'm so happy. So it is about the time we came to the United States. So he titled his poem as a tourist, as an alien. So he made his poem using the Pledge of Allegiance. So he started his poem by saying, "I pledge allegiance to the flag." It was when I was still in elementary school. I wore my fancier clothes that day. I remember going downtown to some important building, hands over our hearts as my mom and dad and sister and me took our citizenship exam of the United States of America. I thought I was truly American by that time, but was stricken in realization, bringing the name of immigrant and alien, bearing the green card that permitted our foreign residency. All this time, I had remembered the pledge, the anthem, the capitals, the states. I considered America to be my true home. And to the republic for which I stand, the Philippines, I distantly belong to paraded of tourists around people who look like me. But the earliest memory I have at all, it was when I was 4. Recently moved, already looking on from a small apartment in Meridian, Mississippi. One nation under God, indivisible. I remember my words had once been divided as a hybrid of Tagalog and English. So Tagalog is our language in the Philippines. Then their living room was my sala, their car was my kotse. So that's what we call car in the Philippines, kotse. Until I realized that the people who didn't look like me didn't say these kinds of words as all it was then. I decided to speak in English already. With liberty and justice for all, the pledge I had recited so many times before. The slip is final words through my English speaking tongue, and my fancier clothes we stood facing the flag, and all the others who didn't look like me, everyone else. I released my hand from above my heart as a Filipino, as an American.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Was there any other poets that I'd read? Okay, so. So we'll have the honor of one of our judges getting to read one of the pieces. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. The manifesto of any poet. This is my mind. I guard it with my life. I have spent so long tirelessly sifting through sand, gathering up threads and pieces, weaving and mending it to ever let it be lost. Remember, this is my body. I guard it with my mind. Having spent too many hours fighting to own it, I cannot give it away to pain or pleasure without meditation, to joy as though it were weightless and transparent. It isn't. Feel the weight. These are my words. These are your words. They are sacred to us. We say them because we believe them to be true. We stand by them, body and mind. This is our soul that uses words to make itself seen. It can cast away shame or shadows in any attempt to quiet or belittle them. My soul has long outgrown my body. It trails behind me, branching out in every direction. I allow myself a larger space to pass through, to exist in than my physical presence alone or requires. This entire being, poets, this entire being is my responsibility, your responsibility. It is what we make of it. Exist.
That is why she's one of my favorite poets. Thank you so much. So I just wanted to say once again, thank you to everybody for coming out, spending this time with us, and just celebrating who we are, who our city is, who our county is as writers and poets. There's poems along the wall. Please take time to take pictures. We have pictures of the judges. And something special, one of the locals that uses this library is actually Fresno's, is the current California Poet Laureate, Lee Herrick. We're going to have a dedication to him soon, but you can see what the sample is going to look like back there, just as you step out. So take pictures, and always know that you're part of a greater community, and we're so thankful to have you all here. So once again, thank you all.